All right. Good afternoon. It's 1:30 and we're still on to LASO Radio, and it's time for the Tech Talk Show with me, Kazeem, this afternoon. So today we're going to be talking cloud versus on-premises, and we're going to be looking at today's topic from the angle of, working from home. That's the working from home perspective. And I want to welcome my guest on today's episode, Remi Adejumo. Good afternoon to you, Mr. Remi.
Good afternoon. Nice to be here.
Okay. I would like us to start with an introduction. So would you please introduce yourself and tell us a little bit more about what you do?
Okay. My name is Remi Adejumo. I have been working in technology for over 30 years. And when I left the bank in 2016, I built a cloud platform. And since then, this is our 5th year. So we have 2 cloud platforms in Nigeria. And we have quite a number of large enterprises that are running their whole infrastructure on our platform, both the primary and backup. So we provide both primary and backup to our customers, and a host of other services. So the infrastructure as a service, backup as a service, archiving, storage. So the S3 storage, we offer that service. We also have a DevOps platform. So we offer cloud native applications, and you can develop and also promote into your live environment all of our platforms. So that's what we do at the moment.
So today's topic again is cloud versus on-premises. I know this might sound cliche, or it might sound like a broken record to many, considering the fact that people have been hearing the word all over the place, especially now during the time of COVID. But it would be nice for us to still start from the very beginning, for the benefit of those listening right now, without an understanding of what cloud is or what does it mean when we say on-premises. So can you kindly help us understand what the difference is between cloud-based software or cloud-based applications and on-premises applications?
Okay. Basically what you have when you talk of on-premise is the fact that an organization has like a server room or data center where they store their servers. So what they do, and there's been a lot of development over the years, rather than just putting them in a room, just sitting down on the floor, whatever, you have a proper setup room. So you have what they call a raised floor. The reason you raise the floor is that you put the cables underneath. So it's a hollow floor with a raised platform to put the cables in. Then you have racks. So now servers are reduced in size. I mean, I remember many years ago, 20, 30 years ago, it used to take 2 of us to carry one server and put it in a rack. Today, you can literally with one hand take a rack with a lot more compute in there and slide it into your rack. So you've got rack space, you've got connections, you've got cooling to make sure you maintain the temperature. You've got the networking, you've got cameras so that you can see who goes in, who goes out. You've got a biometric entry into that room. So that's what you have in a lot of companies today in Nigeria have all that in place. And that's what you call the on-premise data center that they've got their all their computers in. Then in the cloud situation, we have a large array of computers, and we virtualize the platform, and we create sort of silos for customers, because each customer has unique defined area which is not compromised with another customer, even though they're on a shared platform. And that's what we call the cloud virtualized platform in there. So you're talking of on-premise, that you have all the equipment, you have all the facilities, and of course, most importantly, you've got the power. So you've got generators, you've got UPSs, you've got inverters, and all that, because whenever you must have at least 2 power sources. So whether you've got the on-grid and you've got generators, and in order to switch between the 2, your bridge is a UPS and an inverter. So there's a lot of infrastructure that you maintain in order to maintain a data center in-house. And the cost of those are going up every day. And as opposed to the cloud, where it's a shared cost, and there's an economy of scale because you're not the one having to worry about all those bolts and nuts in there.
The next question I have for you is this. I want us to look at things from the eye of an administrator or a business owner, if I can call it that now. There are many comparison criteria now that people look at in order for a business, for example, to embrace the cloud or even to stay with on-premises infrastructure for that matter. So you run a company that is into, cloud offerings. So what are those important criteria to consider when we are talking migrating to the cloud? What are those things that we have to consider versus staying on premises?
Okay. So what you have, like I said, the components that make up what you have on premise. So your power, your cooling, your connectivity, and the monitoring and the security. So those are 5 very key things you have to look at. When you outsource all that, you're trying to save the cost of it, and you're also then having a lot more sophisticated thing on the outside than what you have inside, because the cost of each of those components is quite expensive. But when you have it shared, that lowers your cost. So that's the attraction to move from one to the other. So, but people worry that, and the question that I'm always asked is that, is it more secure than your premises? And the answer is a big yes, because what you have in-house as opposed to out in the cloud is that in-house you know where your workloads are, you know where your infrastructure is. In the cloud, you don't know where it is. So that's an added security, the fact that you don't know where it is. And also the fact that because it's our business, we can spend a lot more money than you can in terms of security, more layers of security. And also, without having to go into details, virtualized security is far more sophisticated than physical security because it just has a lot more flexibility and you can do a lot more. And you can secure down to a minute area, which you can't do with a physical infrastructure. So those are the advantages and the benefits of it. And it's said, it's a common thing in the people that do these studies, that your total cost of ownership is reduced by about 70% moving to the cloud than being on premise.
Okay, so you would advise anytime to consider migrating to the cloud as opposed to keeping to on premises?
Absolutely.
Okay. We're going to go on a break in a bit, but just before our break time now, I want you to help us attend to this. Majority of the technology vendors, Microsoft, the likes of Microsoft and other OEMs, they've stepped up, their effort in recent times to emphasize the benefit of, just like you've mentioned, it's better to go with the cloud and stay on premises. The benefit of having information be stored in the cloud, running applications in the cloud, having their infrastructure, leveraging on the cloud infrastructure. But talking Nigeria now, let's come back to Nigeria. You mentioned it also earlier, still many of the IT heads here in Nigeria still remain caught in that debate over maintaining on-premises data center versus moving to the cloud. So can you share your thoughts on this? What would be your advice to those people? So what do you think the challenges for them are? I'm sure, you faced a number of those kind of customers in recent times or perhaps in the past.
Yes, for them, I think I would say give it a try, because what we even do, and one of the key things we do is we tell people, try us out. And the funny thing is, we have a 98% retention. So once we say to somebody, try it for a month, once they get on, they actually forget that they're there. And they see all the benefits and convenience and everything. One of the key things is that being on the cloud gives you agility. You can do a lot more very quickly. One of the things that you look at, take for example, you have something new that comes up. You need more space. You need more facilities. When you're in the cloud, you get that within 24 hours. If you've got to do it in-house, it'll take you 6 to 12 weeks to get that in place. So that's what, the direction, and that's why you find worldwide everyone's moving to the cloud, because it just takes the mundane away from your day-to-day. And what it is that, because the other thing, in addition to what you're asking, people feel, is that going to make some people redundant? It doesn't. what it means is that that IT skill becomes more business focused and less infrastructure focused. So rather than worry on the environment, worry about putting things together, you're more your skill set you've got in-house now focuses more on the business, and you've got more hands to do work that is business focused rather than just infrastructure focused. Because a lot of that work is generic. It's not particular to a business. So if you move that out and somebody else is doing that for you, then you can focus on your business and focus on things to do with the business. And there is a demarcation. We that are the cloud platform cannot see your data. People believe that because you're on the cloud platform, we have your data. And every day the sophistication are coming more and more. You have encryption, you have ways of securing the data that even your data sort of holders don't have access and can't even see what you're doing. So you're 100% secure. You're far more secure than on-premise. And because we are doing this every day and we maintain a lot of clients, there's an economy of scale in terms of what we do and how we maintain that security. That's far more than what you can do as an individual. So those are the benefits, and that's what is there. And I urge people that they should be in the cloud. They shouldn't be on-premise.
Okay, I would like to quickly squeeze this in before we do our break now. Don't you think, talking about cost now, isn't it relative? You know, some would argue that it might boil down to relativity now. If we have a huge number of users, I have centers all around the place. I have branches all around the place. So if I'm subscribing to a SaaS solution of some sort, let's give an example, Microsoft 365, and then the bill comes at the end of the year. So it's usually very scary, for some businesses to take on. What's your take on that now?
Yeah, you see, like I said, I'm trying not to go in. I've run infrastructure. I ran the infrastructure for EcoBank. At the time I was in EcoBank, we had over 600 branches. I was responsible for moving when Oceanic and EcoBank bought Oceanic, I had to move the data centers together. And I used cloud technology in order for speed, for safety, and and to create the redundancy we needed. So that's how we did it. That's nearly 10 years ago. But, it's always been, even connectivity. I was the first one to put 2 connections in every branch because we only had 1 link to each branch, but I put 2 links into each branch, and we were the first bank to have a 2 meg bandwidth in each branch. 2 meg bandwidth in each branch. And I find today, if you're going to do that, the flexibility is when you're in a data center. The data center has all the connectivity, so you are only worried about your connectivity from you to the data center. Data center to wherever else you're connecting is all pre-done. It's all there already. And there's a huge cost save because you're trying to recreate all that into your premise. That's where the cost now goes through the roof. There are some things, like you mentioned, Microsoft is a business application. You're going to use that, but there are ways that you take the best of what you have from the Microsoft platform and you take some things locally. So it's a complement of the services that you can use. But the fact that you sit on the cloud, you can do a lot more quicker, cheaper, and much more seamlessly than if you're trying to pull all this connectivity into your premises.
Okay. So it's time for us to go on a short break now, and we'll be back in a little bit. All right, so we're back. It's still the Tech Talk Wednesday with me, Kazeem. And so we're talking on-premises versus cloud, and we're looking at it from working from home perspective now. So my next question to you, sir, will be, what is the future? What more can we expect generally now from cloud computing? We have AI that is coming into the mix. There are so many vendors, out there that people can pick from. So what would you say is that future, that thing that we locally here, let's tailor it a little bit down to Nigeria now, that we can be looking, to as the future of cloud computing?
Interesting question. Now, just to answer that, I'll give it to you in this way. The key to the future is data